I'm Jill Snitcher, Executive Director of the Columbus Bar Association and Foundation. I recently had the pleasure of sitting down with three very distinguished members of this year's 50-year honoree class and three of their mentees. With nearly 200 years of lawyering experience between these six professionals, I was struck by the similarities of their experiences over the decades. They have all seen rapid advancements in technology, the globalization of our economy and our culture, an expansion of civil rights, and a dramatic shift in the political landscape. The old adage rings true: the more things change, the more they stay the same. I hope you enjoy this presentation.
You know, we live in an interesting time right now. Obviously, we have great divisions in the country and we have a lot going on. But in the late 60s and early 70s with the Vietnam War, I mean, literally, I remember being in the classroom smelling tear gas because we had National Guardsmen, you know, on campus. There was a time at the law school where you could walk in any door you want. When basically the riots started, they started locking every door, and you had to have an ID, you know, to get in. And I don't know about these guys, but you know, you did have to wonder, what are we doing over there?
50 years ago, it was a very political environment from what I've told. I wasn't there, but you know, despite that, you had people, especially in the legal profession, who were making their way through it and finding a way to be civil and still engage in conversations. And the other thing is, I think, kind of coupled with that, just being adaptable. I think, you know, that's something that regardless of the challenge, that's something that we have to do as lawyers. I think really any leader in the community has to do. You always have unexpected challenges that come up, and that's, you know, you hear that and you see that through speaking with people who've been around the block several times. You know, different challenges, but same struggle, and still working towards the same goal, I think.
We, among all professions, are imbued with the right to speak for our clients as if our clients had spoken and bind them. There's no other profession that comes close to the obligations that we have in terms of that inherent obligation of our profession. And with that kind of power, the potential for abuse is just a sentence away. And so I would say that at the end of the day, let's just look at what happened. In Watergate, the justice system worked.
Frank Ray and I, if you saw the two of us in the room, we would be different in terms of experiences, and the way in which he was so willing to share those with me has helped me navigate some very difficult times. He has shown me how to have difficult conversations. He has shown me how to deal with just the law when the law is not on your side, right? And so we're seeing that in our world. We're seeing that in our country. We're seeing that in trying to raise a family in times where there's so much uncertainty. And so that's why mentoring doesn't go away. Mentoring doesn't get old. Mentoring doesn't become a thing of the past, because you can continuously apply what you learned 20 years ago to today and make it work.
When we came out of law school, I think we had 6 women in our class, and now the profession's turning out more or less 55% female lawyers. African-American lawyer population has grown, not like anybody ever wanted. It's still too small. The Hispanic population has grown in the bar. But there are changes taking place that lawyers can perpetuate and lead and build on that'll have a ripple effect out into society.
Something that's been very eye-opening to me, this past year I was the president of Women Lawyers of Franklin County, and I think there was a lot that has happened in this past year within the society when it comes to women. And it's like, yeah, you go to the Steve Fitch or Frank Gray or any other of these, Judge Fry, these 50-year people that are mentors, and you're sitting there and you're like, okay, well, what were they faced with? They might not understand, but they were faced with different challenges. I think there are commonalities that we still have with that generation that can come in and help us and still guide us on how we handle today's situations.
So, Frank, I really want to take the point that you made and have a deeper conversation about what advice you might share with today's generation of lawyer.
That's a great question. I would respond by offering a soundbite, which is be true to yourself. That's all anyone really needs to know.
We tell every mentee, every law student, keep in mind, you might work in a big firm, you might work in a small firm, you might have a partner you're working with, but when you sign that pleading, that's you, that's not them. When it says there's a good faith basis in law and in fact for the argument that you're making, that's not somebody else. That's your signature, and you're the one that's going to be held accountable.
If I wanted to leave any advice for a young lawyer worried about where the country's going, it's get out of your office, go out and help hold it together.
Your Honor, if I may, I can call you Rick now, maybe not. But Judge, I can't thank you enough for your many years of service. Your legacy and reputation as a judge will surpass the 50 years that you practiced, and I know that I will try my hardest to continue to practice in a way that will make you proud.
To Frank, thank you for raising me in the law. I was definitely a baby. You have been with me from the beginning, and you continue to be with me. And I can't express my gratitude and appreciation enough. I am always reminded of the excellence that you've shown me as to how to practice law. Your integrity, your professionalism, your civility is something that I aspire to every day. And I just want to say thank you and that I love you, and I probably will never get this award, and I hope you're okay with that.
Steve, thank you so much for your service to the bar and to me personally. It's meant everything to me to have you as someone to look up to, someone to talk with, bounce ideas off of, look to you for guidance. Professionally, personally, I think you embody what I am looking for as a role model in this community and what I hope other attorneys aspire to be, and appreciate everything you've done.
We have all watched as the legal profession has faced increased competition, regulation, and specialization. But all the while, the core principles of lawyering and the value of mentoring remain largely unchanged. The value of interpersonal, face-to-face interaction is a key component for all of us to grow both personally and professionally. This CBA provides a space and a host of activities where lawyers can network and share ideas and experiences. If you haven't attended an event in a while, I would encourage you to visit your neighborhood bar at our new location in the Arena District. Your participation can have a huge impact on the greater good of our profession. Thank you.